Post-colon cancer surgery, I found a book called Chris Beat Cancer. In it, he gives a blueprint on how to heal from cancer and prevent it to start with. He talks about a 90-day cleanse, strictly vegan, no dairy, no meat. I decided to take this on, and it was great, except for my protein was really hard to get, and my gut needed probiotics. Chris says to skip the dairy, but I tested a little loophole. One plain organic fat-free Greek yogurt scoop in my smoothie. Protein and live cultures, 0 sugar. Could that spoonful actually protect my gut and reduce my colon cancer risk at the same time? Let's find out. Another week, another discovery. Let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about Greek yogurt, what it is, what are its benefits, and what should you be worried about? First off, what is Greek yogurt? This is just yogurt that has been strained in a centuries-old Middle Eastern method, which leads to thicker, double protein, half the carbs yogurt. Greek is actually just a marketing term that kind of started in the 80s, but then was popularized by Chapin in the mid-2000s. By 2015, it had become 50% of the U.S. yogurt sales and is being ultimately pitched as high-protein, low-sugar fitness food. In the past, I dug into that. I ate yogurt almost daily, but it was always the ones with artificial sweeteners. I was focusing on the protein, had a long ingredient list, and it ultimately tasted great, but was it really good for me? The question I wanted to ask is it okay to eat yogurt, and if so, what kind, when I'm actively trying to prevent colon cancer, and can my plain organic fat-free Greek yogurt scoop deliver protein, probiotics without sabotaging my plan? So how does it actually work to give you benefits? Well, in yogurt, they include live cultures that crowd out your harmful bugs in your body. What this does is it creates fermentation peptides which strengthen your gut lining, which leads to less leaky gut and inflammation. Paired with plant fiber, the microbes can make short-chain fatty acids, which can lower CRP and IL-6. What are those, you ask? Well, that's the question I wanted to ask too, because I didn't actually know. But CRP is a reactive protein your liver releases when your body senses trouble, infection, tissue damage, or chronic irritations. Doctors use it to measure with a simple blood test and high levels signal smoldering inflammation. IL-6 is a messenger molecule which is produced by immune and fat cells, and it kicks off the inflammation, which cascades and tells the liver to make more CRP. The end result is if those are high, you have inflammation in your gut, which is a precursor for colon cancer. Yogurt has the tools to lower that, hopefully leading to benefits. The net result is smoother digestion, better nutrient uptake, and a calmer immune tone in your gut. Should you eat organic? It's kind of up to you. The benefits of eating organic is you don't get the growth hormones or the routine antibiotics or pesticide residue that you would otherwise get. And in someone trying to reduce your overall exposure to negative things, organic is always recommended. But should it be fat-free? Well, you actually get better fats in whole yogurt, especially organic, where you get the pasture-raised grazing gives a boost to the omega-3s and CLA for extra immune support. So it really depends on what you're after there. Okay, well, what does the science really say? Well, for heart health in particular, there was a study done, Danone Institute meta-analysis in 2023, where they did 17 cohorts of over 1.3 million people looked at, found that less than a cup a day of plain yogurt led to a 14% fewer heart attacks and strokes. Blood sugar and type 2 diabetes, let's take a look at what that does. Another study, PLOS, did a meta-analysis in 2019 of 21 cohorts, 540,000 participants, found that 50 grams a day lowered your diabetes risk by 7%, whereas a full cup lowered it by 22%. What I'm most concerned about is colon cancer. Frontier Reviews in 2021 reviewed 16 studies and found that more than 2 cups a week led to 13% less new tumors. The end result is science backs that Greek yogurt has real benefits for chronic disease. But there's a plot twist. If you do the fat-free yogurt, you are actually not getting the CLA fats that actually provide a lot of the anti-cancer effects, and you get 50% less calcium. Now, if you're doing yogurt for your anti-cancer benefits, you're going to get a little bit more of a null impact, but if you're eating yogurt for protein, the fat-free might be the better option. The other problem is we actually don't typically eat fat-free or even plain yogurt. We're eating the fruity, delicious cups that have potentially 20 grams of added sugar or artificial sweeteners that can be linked to stroke and other chronic health risks. And when we talked about the dairy concern, the actual concern mostly stems from milk, which spikes the IGF-1, which is tied to prostate cancer risk. But the fermentation in yogurt kind of nullifies that, making it kind of a non-issue. The yogurt's probiotics also help prevent inflammation and showing that natural protective effects that come from yogurt are great, especially for the colon. All right, well, should you eat it? Well, I think that organic Greek yogurt is something that should be in your diet, especially if you're heavily eating plants. Those probiotics are key, and if you're not going to get it from yogurt, you need to get it from somewhere. Yogurt, the studies I found have indicated that it actually prevents the chronic diseases I'm concerned about. But the key here is you want to stick with organic, no added sugars, avoid the processed kind with a long list of ingredients, gums and whatnot. Just go plain organic and you'll be okay. Pair it with fiber for the best benefits. Berries. A berry smoothie with yogurt is the way to go. You can add some greens in there as well. Don't go overboard. 1 to 2 servings a day is probably the most you want to eat, but the benefits are really there. So now, Greek yogurt has a science-approved spot in my smoothies. Next week, we're going to talk about dark chocolate. Will it lower inflammation, or is it really just a dessert in disguise? Like, subscribe, drop me a comment, and check me out next week. See you then.